Hello, Survivor. How are you doing? It is your girl, Esther Joy, coming at you. Hello. Hello. And today we're going to be talking about lessons from jobs. Okay, I'm gonna keep it simple. We're gonna be talking about lessons from jobs because let me tell you, I've worked a lot of jobs in my life and I've learned a lot. So I thought it would be fun to talk about some of the things that you can learn from such jobs and onward, so on onward. Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, grab your tea, your drink. Let's talk about it, guys. I'm so happy that my room is finally like done for the most part. Um, I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with how it looks. And there's still like some boxes to finish going through, and I got rid of a lot of stuff that just didn't have space for. And I'm really thankful because it gave me more space to just like explore and be present. So super thankful for that. And with that being said, I was thinking of about making an actual video, but then I figured, I don't know, live streaming is just a lot faster and you don't have to edit, even though I am going to work on my editing and I probably will have another complimentary video that puts all of these thoughts together. But I thought we would go through the process, and kind of put things together so that that video will happen in divine timing. What's up, Deshaun? How's it going? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna, yeah, we're just gonna clear this. Put that there, and yeah, so yeah, we're gonna have fun with it, and I'm really curious as I'm sharing what lessons I've learned, from the different jobs I've worked as throughout my life. What have you learned, from wherever and whatever and however you are working? I think that every single life situation gives us a lesson. And if we can learn to listen to that lesson and utilize it, it can really like transform our lives. So that's kind of where the inspiration for today's live stream and future video came from, and I'm super excited. So let's just get into it. I actually even like wrote some notes about like some of the lessons, and I'm gonna use that as just like to keep myself from ranting too much because you know me. And to be honest, I didn't really add any of my entrepreneurial stuff in these notes, and I want to because I think those have been some of the biggest lessons. So I'm definitely gonna talk about that. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can go into chronological order or something like that. I don't know. I started working back in, I want to say 2012. I think that's when I got, started getting paid to do jobs. I'm a 2000 baby, so I was 12 years old, and then present, I'm working now. Present. The present is a present. So, we'll use that as our timeline, and I'll just get into it. So, the first job I ever had was babysitting, and it was fun. It had its own unique twist. What's up, Negan Walker? I hope that I answered your question already because, as I said, I'm a 2000s baby, so I think that answers the question. So yeah, babysitting. I started babysitting when I was 12, around there, and the biggest lesson that I learned, I feel like I should backtrack. I started babysitting my neighbor's kids, and my mom was still homeschooling me at the time. But she would have to go to pick up my older siblings that were in high school at the time. So she would leave me, and sometimes she just do errands. And then more and more, she was like, "Okay, you're capable of taking care of these kids, so I'm just gonna go." I love these two girls that I got the privilege of helping raise. Uh, it's really crazy that my neighbor, she had a daughter, was an only daughter, and she really, really wanted little sisters like me. So she asked her parents, and they adopted these two little girls. And they definitely were like me. They taught me so much about myself. I was like, dear God bless my parents, because I was a handful, and they were also a handful. And I think the first mental breakdown I ever had was watching these two girls, and one of them called the cops on me for not giving them ice cream, and it was just like a mess. It was a whole mess, but I learned a lot. And so, babysitting, the biggest lesson I'll take away from there is that you are human. Um, and that really just made me realize that, like, my parents are human. You know, nobody can do everything. Like, you have to have eyes in the back of your head, I tell you, because kids be looking to get into trouble. They be looking for, like, they're not looking. Like, I was talking to my brother about this time he gave himself salt poisoning because he just liked the taste of salt so much that he would sneak into the pantry and just eat the salt. And my other brother used to do the same thing with sugar. Thank God that they're now adults and they have learned and they know moderation and nutrition, but this is just something. And so I think it's super important that, you know, growing up, it was like the first step of seeing, like, I didn't have that much patience at 12. I learned to have patience, definitely. Have patience with yourself. I'm adding that to Sean. So have patience. Um, you know, like, so many things happen. Like, you know, sometimes the girls would steal stuff from me. Sometimes they would just try to lock me out of the house. And you know, whatever it was, it taught me a lot about having patience, realizing I'm just human, and knowing my own limits, because I'm not, you know, I'm not a superhuman. I am in this human body. I have limits, and especially growing up, um, I got to realize what those limits were. So yeah, are certain churches cults? Yes. Yes, they are, Negan. Now, it's really interesting. I drank some like yoga tea, and it was pretty good. And then I learned that apparently the person that owns the brand, it's like a cult leader, and like the tea farms, they're like his cult. So yeah, there's a lot of different kinds of cults out there. So yeah, porn can open, definitely open doors to demons. Oh my god, yes, absolutely. That is, yes, 100%. Porn can open doorways to demons. A lot of things can, okay? As well as the spirits and alcohol and other substances. You know, it's really being aware of what you're opening to. Gossip can open doors to demons. Books can too. It's the emotions that are being invoked. I like that. I like that. I always have to watch my 7-year-old poodle like a little baby because he's too smart for his own good and gets into stuff. Oh man, I had a cat I adopted, and I feel you on there. That Deshaun, he would break through the cupboards into his food and just eat it all, and then we'd be like, bro. Yeah, it's fun. Okay, so the next job I had, also at the ripe age of 12, was swim instructing, and I've been a swim instructor ever since. So I have learned a lot from this, being a swim instructor. Oh jeez, oh man. To give some like fun feedback about myself, I love swimming. It's been something I feel so thankful that I get this opportunity to like teach other people something that for me was like a lifesaver. It was a skill that I loved. I loved just being able to go under the water and the sensations of, it was just like a ginormous hug, and the sense of peace. And shout out to my mom, who really struggled with swimming for a while, and she had like paralysis when she for a while when she was swimming, and that caused her to have a deep fear for it. And she really wanted us all to learn how to swim, and we all became swim instructors, including my mom, as she got over her fear. Now, I used to be on a swim team. I would wake up at 4 a.m. I would swim at 4:30 outside. I would get to work by 6:45, 7 we had to be there, and I would start teaching by 8. I would teach until 12, and then I would lifeguard until 7 p.m. And I did this almost every day except Sunday. That was my day off. 16, 13 hours days at the pool. I don't know. It was some crazy number. It was insane, but I loved the pool, and sometimes I would be sleeping on my breaks. Actually, most of the times I would be sleeping on my breaks. It was a crazy time. But being a swim instructor, I learned a lot. I was probably a really difficult kid to teach swimming because I was an asshole and I was a smartass. And I definitely did challenge my instructors. I was the one that's like, why aren't you in the water? Or I would like go underwater when they're talking. And honestly, when I became a swim instructor, I realized just how annoying I was, just like babysitting. It was like karma. God was like, this is what you get. So one of the really important things that I learned with swim instructing throughout all my years in the different organizations, you know, private, public, teach lessons with adults, special need, special ed, babies, you can't force anyone to do anything. Yep. And of course, you know, you could show these kids, and I talked to the other swim instructors. Okay, Negan, you're really bombarding me with these questions, and I'm here for it. To be honest, I'm pretty sure I have the link in my bio, and it is a light language workshop or light language 101. I think it's like a recording. I believe you should be able to find the link in my bio, and if it doesn't work, then I will reach out to you and make sure that you get it. Because me and my soul sister Aria, I'm so excited this year. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked, but we are getting ready to share our light language more, and we've been doing a lot more experiments with it in our day-to-day life to just understand it a little bit more, you know, what it really is, how it works, and how we can utilize it in, you know, practically. So yeah. So when it comes to forcing anyone to do anything, swimming is not, it's like running. Everybody can kind of run. Of course, there's a mindset, and this is the importance of understanding fear. There's so many more things that I could add for this one. I'm gonna add another frame because there's too much for swimming for me to just say one. So yes, another frame on top. And I'm learning a lot with swim instructing that there's this mindset of fear, like mind over matter. Okay, so mind over matter. And I know you probably looks like I'm drawing over, so I'm just gonna take this one down. I can tell you exactly how to do any stroke. But if you are fearful, if you have fear, your body is going to seize up. It's going to get tight. And when it gets tight, you're restricting the oxygen that can circulate in your body, and you sink. You become very dense. It's very hard for you to do anything. I cannot make your fears go away, but mine definitely over matter. So what I can do is pray for you, be as calm as I can be, even if one of us is choking on water, and give you the space to feel safe. Because if you feel safe, you will open up your body to be safe. Okay. Okay. So, oh man, we just keep going. We just keep going out here. 1 second out here. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna do page assist. Yeah, I think that's cool. Cool. All right. So then I was also a lifeguard. Like I said, I was working both of these jobs at a time, and then I just transitioned to be a lifeguard for a while. it was cool. I loved the pool that I got to guard at. I was also a private lifeguard for a while. And it was pretty good. Does the Holy Spirit talk audibly? I love these questions. Negan's out here looking for the truth. I gotta applaud him. Yeah, I think the Holy Spirit can talk audibly. The Holy Spirit can go through any living thing and communicate through it. So sometimes that may be audibly, sometimes that may not. It's really through the context in which God source oneness, the creator is communicating through you, because of course the creator can communicate through their creations. Okay. Lifeguarding was kind of fun. And I kind of learned this really interesting lesson about there was this one time where, first off, I was the only colored lifeguard, which was always a little weird to me. There were sometimes racist couples that would come in and be like, this pool needs to be cleaned up, which made no sense because this was one of the most diverse pools I have ever guarded. We had Polish, we had German, we had Hispanic, we had Jamaican, we had Haitian, we had, oh my god, we had Cuban. It was like, we had Chinese, we had Taiwanese. It like, it made no sense when, certain people would come in and be disturbed by how diverse the pool was. It was great. But yeah, I was like the only colored lifeguard, and that was always interesting. I think it made my experience just that much more richer. And I learned a lot, getting along with different people. But one thing I do remember is this one time that this lady was in the deep end, and if you're in the deep end, we have the two diving boards. Yep. And I was like, lady, you can't be here. In my head, I was thinking this because people are jumping. I don't want them to jump on top of you. You gotta go. Anyways, she cursed me out in every single word I have never even heard. I was like, whoa, I'm adding these to my dictionary that I didn't know I needed, because I can't even I can't even comprehend what you just said to me. Anyways, she was a little mad, but you will be hated for doing your job. It's okay. And I think that kind of made me less scared. One thing about lifeguards were like, you have to, people shouldn't run. You don't want them to fall down. There are certain things that, like, obviously you don't want somebody to break their neck, so you're like, hey, please don't do that. People are going to hate you. They're going to try to do it when you're just not looking. And then you're going to have to tell them again, and they're just not going to appreciate it. And for a while, I did not have the confidence or the tough skin to be hated for telling people to do these things. And so I kind of just be like, maybe they'll just not do it anymore and I won't have to say anything. And no, that never happened. Like, you have to be okay with people not liking you. Because at the end of the day, if your heart is in the right place and you're doing it because overall it's the good thing to do, then don't worry about it. There was actually this one time towards the end of my lifeguarding career, not related, but there was this little boy and his friends, and they came to the pool. Now, they were probably like in middle school. The oldest was 16, the youngest was 12. And there were like 5 or 6 of them, and they came without any adult supervision. Okay, now the crazy thing was that there was nobody else in the pool this day. Nobody. It was empty. It was cloudy. It was a little rainy. And we were like, thank God, because then only one of us have to watch the pool, and there's like 12 of us. So we're like, okay, cool. All right. This is nice. This is chill. Then these kids come in. We're like, all right, at least 3 of us need to go out there now and watch the pool. Now, that's fine. But then we were like, hold up. They don't have a guardian with them. They can't be here. Now, the story gets crazy as I go up to lifeguard, and, the others are kind of arguing and asking the older kids, like, how old are you? Where are your parents? You need a guardian to be here. They shouldn't have let you in. Because we obviously are fighting for what's right, and also we don't want to work that much. Anyways, what ends up happening is as I'm sitting on the desk, I'm sitting on the desk, sitting on the bench, sitting on this chair, and I'm watching this 12-year-old, and he's just diving for his goggles, throwing them, diving on the high dive. Again, we have two diving boards, a short one and a tall one. Like, this is the tall one, this is the short one, and I'm probably like here, like just standing here. And so this kid is jumping, woo, in down, Now, what happened was he threw his goggles and he went to go get them, and he ended up jumping and falling on the concrete and totally missed the pool. And that was kind of like, oh my god, oh my god, did I just witness this little boy jump off of a 2-story diving board and fall on the cement? So of course he was crying and screaming in pain, and of course I was like, all right, 3 whistles, get that backboard. I'm not jumping in the pool. It makes no sense for this. Let me go down my little chair ladder and rush over to him, see what's going on, mobilize his spine, make sure he's staying down and doesn't move. We had to call the ambulance. It was like this whole thing. Obviously, their guardians had to show up at that point. Yeah, anyways, thank God, just so you know, if you ever have to fall down from 2-story building or whatever, make sure that you let your knees just bend, okay? Just let them collapse underneath you, as this child did, because when the paramedics got there with the stretcher, he just got up and walked away. And that's because his legs absorbed the shock. He wasn't trying to stand up. He just kind of let his legs, like, go down, and, so it was good. He was okay. But yeah, so I thank you. I feel like I feel like yeah, Hayden takes no days off. But yeah, those kids kind of low key hated us for trying to ruin their pool day until their smallest friend ended up almost going to the emergency room. So yeah, sometimes people will hate you for doing your job. And in that case, they up until the end, the parents were like mad at us, and we were like, we're trying to get these kids kicked out. We're a little bit rude, and it's okay though. It worked out. I'm really happy that the kiddo was okay, and yeah, after that I was like, you better believe I was telling every single person that went on that diving board to go to the end of the board. I was not about to make that happen again or anything like that. So that is what I learned from being a lifeguard. Now, then my life gets a little boring, but you know what? Bear with me, because honestly, it's all right. Sometimes your life has to be a little boring for it to just to have peace, okay? So I became a DoorDasher, and this was during the pandemic. Now, being a DoorDasher was really interesting because I witnessed people Febreze their chicken wings. And I never thought I would watch somebody open the bag of chicken wings and then start spraying it down like it was some butter spray or something, but I digress. It was a crazy time. They ran out of cup holders all the time, and there were drinks filling up in my car. I had to apologize to so many people because they would have soggy chicken nuggets. I was not a good DoorDasher. I'm sorry. I'm going to say that right now. This is crazy. Okay, but really simple lesson that I learned. Don't rush. It's so important. Like, don't try to rush. Okay? And that is something I gotta say. Like, how much did I make door dashing a week? I probably make like $70 to $100 a day door dashing, and I was door dashing like 3 to 4 times a week. So pretty solid money, actually. Pretty solid money. I'd say DoorDash for like 4 hours would be the average session. Uh, but yeah, it's really cool. Honestly, I recommend door dashing if anybody is looking for like a side gig because it's pretty good money. I'm not sure how it is now, but like back then when I was doing it, gas was like almost less than $2. Like I'm pretty sure less than $2. So it was like fantastic time to be a door dasher. Um yeah, oh jeez, man, so many times I would say, it was honestly paying me through that's how I was paying for school until I got in a car accident because I was rushing. And this was after I was door dashing actually. I was coming home and I T-boned a car anyways. Don't tell I shouldn't say that for insurance purposes, but it's too late. It's long gone. I've paid the debt of that, and that was that. Anyways, thank God everybody was okay. We suffered no injuries, no harms. And yeah, I wouldn't take full responsibility for that. That was really bad. Bad timing, bad time. I thought I was in the right, they were in the wrong. I was wrong for thinking that. So now I never think I'm in the right when I'm driving. I will respectfully wait a little bit extra if the light is yellow. I am so glad I'm still here. Yeah, it was a little scary, but thank God last minute thinking caused me not to do a full T-bone to the car and just more of a side swipe. Anyways, yeah, don't rush. It's not worth it. Honestly, one of the biggest things I can remember, you just feel like stressed, you got to give these people their food on time. You have a certain amount of, they give you a certain amount of time to, fulfill your order and deliver it. And things are going to pop up. Their order is not ready in time. You got to make sure you're communicating. It was a really interesting time. For me, I would definitely, if I ever door dashed again, invest in some really good cup holders because I had way too many spilled drinks, and that would just, yeah, no, yeah. So no, no, no. Yeah, tailgating is not nice. Absolutely not. But yeah, so don't rush. There's no need. Actually, statistically speaking, people that rush are more unhappy than those that don't. And it was really funny. I saw this meme and it was like, yeah, I'm unhappy because you're in front of me. Now move out of the way. Anyways. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Door dashing was fun, but after that car accident, I knew that I needed to find a more a job that I wouldn't have to be moving around as much. It was just crazy. Also, gas was getting a little bit more expensive. So, lo and behold, my mechanic's girlfriend was an eBay reseller. She had a ginormous warehouse and she sold beauty supplies out of her house. So, I became an eBay lister, which apparently is a thing, okay, for beauty supplies. Really interesting job and I learned a lot. What's up, Judah, man? Much love, my fam. Yeah, I would say honestly, being an eBay lister for somebody that just wants to vibe, it's pretty solid. I don't really, this person really just had like a whole ass warehouse, and this was one of the most important. And I think this like inspired me to make this video. Because you're listing things on eBay. Picture this, she has a little office, computer, chair, also had an iPad to take pictures and to edit the photos. My job was she would give me a box of beauty supplies. They'd all be different. Some of them would be shampoos, some of them would be hairspray. She'd try to kind of sort them, but it would just be like an array of different beauty supplies. Some of them would be body wash, some of them would be hair dye. And so my job would be to read the labels, input all of the stuff for every single item for eBay, take the pictures, edit the photos, yeah. And to be honest, a box would have like 40 to 30 pieces, and I would have like maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 boxes surrounding me in a day's work. And I honestly was at first trying to like go through all these boxes, right? I was like, take a picture, edit the picture, type in all of the information, put in all of the ingredients that need to be like, labeled and well like written. Make sure I have the sizing right, you know, the fluid ounces or whatever, and all of this stuff for every single box, every single item. And I really did try to speed run because I saw all those boxes in front of me and I was like, let's see how many I could do. And honestly, I'm not a good typer. I don't know if you guys knew, but I published a book. Okay? I actually have this book. I'm gonna get it! Okay, if anybody is curious. This is the book that I wrote. It's a poetry book. Okay, it's pretty good. All right, you can find it on Amazon. Anyways, it's just like a whole bunch of poems and drawings. I only brought this because, yeah, I'm not a good speller and I did not proofread this book. But I decided because it's poetry, you don't even really even need to proofread it. It's fine, okay? And there's not that many words to proofread. I mean, I did proofread it, but like I didn't get another person to proofread it, if you know what I mean. I did get somebody to proofread it, but they said that's your style. So anyways, yeah, the moral of the story is I'm not the best speller. And so when I started speeding through, trying to get through all of these beauty supplies, there were typos. And you should not have typos when you're listing things on eBay. And so this lady sat me down and she said, girl, I had to redo all the work that you did. So like, slow down. You're getting paid by the hour. There's no need for you to rush. And that like blew my mind. Like I did not expect somebody that was paying me by the hour would say slow down. There's no need for you to be going this fast. Like slow down. So yeah, take your time. The lesson was take your time to do it right the first time. Like so simple and such a big lesson. Like it blew my mind. So instead of me trying to like speed run and see how many boxes of beauty supplies I could list on her, you know, eBay storefront, it became me seeing, you know, taking my time. And so of course, yeah, it went from like me doing like 4 boxes a day to like 1.5 boxes a day, but it was higher quality work, and at the end of the day, like that's all she wanted. She just wanted them to be done right so she didn't have to double check every single one. So yeah, I learned that. Any spiritual warfare books you recommend? Have you read Rebecca Brown books? I have not, and to be honest, I am putting energy in the spiritual war. I mean, it's happening. There are lots of wars out there. I seek peace, so I look for spiritual peace books. And my favorite is The Fine Art of Relaxation, Meditation, and Concentration. Fire book. Lots of beautiful prayers and meditations that are just peaceful. And the Bible. Okay, that's it. Also, I'm gonna close it there. Because I'm gonna get into more books. But I think it's called The Law of One. I feel like that's a really good one. Oh, let's keep that. But yeah, take your time, do it right. That was a big lesson I learned. I wish I could tell you that any time I work by the hour, you better believe I take my time. I'm not trying to rush anything, okay? This is a theme. You're seeing the theme here. Like, maybe it's because I was a DoorDasher. But, yeah, okay. So this job that I got, the next one, I will say that I got it after I was going back to school. I wasn't about to DoorDash anymore because I was just, you know, the price of gas was not making it worth it for me. And I wanted to, you know, explore doing something else. So I actually had like $40 to my name, and I lost my full ride scholarship because I did not get the jab, and then I mentally was not doing the best because I just kind of felt I don't know, a type of way going to school when everybody was asking me what's going on. So took that break, I went back to school, had lost my full ride scholarship, had to pay it back that last semester, and I'm not having any money. I was like, this is so interesting. So what did I do? What happened? I had $40 to my name. I was like, I can either use this on gas money so I can get to school, or I could use this on my phone bill. Better believe I could not call anybody anymore. And what I ended up doing was knocking door to door on every single building. I rode my bike to school because I was like, I'm not even gonna use that gas money. I'm gonna use it sparingly. I was also like really into volunteering at state parks, so I wanted to, like, I don't know, it was so therapeutic being able to go and connect with the land and help it out in a way. So I was like, I'm gonna spend my gas money to go to the state parks. I'm not even gonna spend it to go to school. I'm gonna ride my bike. So I'd ride my bike, and on the way riding my bike, I was looking for jobs. Any sign that would say help wanted, hire, hiring, anything. I was taking pictures. I was just riding my bike, and I was going inside business building. I was going inside buildings, and I was asking, "Are you hiring?" It was the most awkwardest thing ever because all of them said no. Every single building I went in, they were like, "No, but you can like fill out this application." They never called me to this day. But I got a job as a junior manager assistant. And what did I do? It was for a nameplate manufacturing company. It was super boring, but hey, they had a help wanted sign. I called them up, and the next week I was working with them. And this was really interesting because there were a lot of negotiations. I let them know straight off the bat that I was going to be there temporarily. I just needed to pay for school. I had no intentions of staying there long term. And, I will do my best to help any way I can, that the business can benefit. And I let them know some of my skills. And then I let them know, like, I'm negotiating. They're going to be like, so how much do you want to get paid? And you could be like, $30 million. And they'd be like, wow, that's fantastic. We can give you $3. So anyways, I ended up getting paid minimum wage. It was fine. I was just happy to have a job. I could pay for gas. I could start paying off my school bill, my tuition. And one of the biggest things were when they started giving me web design work, because they knew I was going to school for web design. And also I low key be freelancing as a web designer, which I will be talking about. So I was making, like, let's say 25 an hour doing web design. It's kind of mostly contract work. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to pay minimum wage here, but my rates for doing the work that you're asking me to do are at this rate. And they were like, yeah, but you're going to leave. So pretty much we're not going to pay you that, was their reply. And then when I graduated, they asked me if I wanted to work there full time. So I noticed that a lot of the people there were older, they had families, and maybe it was difficult for them to leave that job because it was a stability. And there was nothing wrong with that job. It was a family run company. They were really sweet people. I just noticed that a lot of people there, they had settled. And I was like, no, I'm not going to settle for this. I'm sorry. Don't settle. Like, nah, chief, nah. So don't settle. I'm so happy I did it. And when I was like, pretty much, no, I'm not gonna work full time. And then they were like, oh, okay, so you're keeping your hours. And then I was like, actually, I'm gonna be putting in my 2 weeks. And they're like, for how long though? Are you coming back? They literally asked me if I was coming back. And I was like, ooh. In my head, I'm like, hopefully not. But I'm not trying to make enemies out here. So it's like, probably not. But here's my number. If you need any web design work, just so you know, I will be a contract worker and you will have to pay me at my hourly rate. Which grew because I was like, my patience with you guys. Anyways, I love them. They're good. Good people, good family run business. But yeah. Don't settle. Don't settle. Life is too short. Life is too short. So like I said, I was a contract web designer, so I'll just say web designer. And I really enjoyed being a web designer because, guys, I forgot how to spell design. I'm a designer, not a speller, okay? I'm a lover, not a fighter. Okay. So yeah, being a web designer was cool. I got to work with a Buddhist nunnery. I got to work with a permaculture collaborative circle. I got to work with like an ethical consumer magazine. They were all really cool, and it was really fun. Like really fun to just have the honor of designing their website, learning more about them, practicing what I was learning. It was good, and I realized that in those cases, at the time I was honestly just looking for work to, be a web designer. So I was looking to even like do free work, volunteer work with the organizations I believed in. All of these organizations really appreciated the work I did, and they did end up paying me. But one thing I will say is that I was not like an expert. I was learning. Like I was looking for this kind of work because I just wanted to learn. And then they saw me as an expert. And then here I was, the expert in their eyes. In my mind, I'm like, I'm just still learning, but I'm gonna do the best I possibly can and learn as much as I possibly can to serve you. Um, so what ended up happening was that, you have a couple meetings, they would talk about their organization, what they're wanting to get out of the website, and then they would just be like, and then it would be up to you to be like, okay, cool, that's great, this is what I can do, does that sound good, is there anything else that, you have this talk. One thing after that conversation, you're pretty much left with your notes, your imagination, and another meeting in however many days to follow up and to share your progress and to, check in. So, you better ask questions, okay? Like, straight up, you are the experts, and whatever you're the expert in means that these people are seeing you in a place where you can help them, and that means you have to understand how to help them. How do you understand how to help them? You have to ask questions. Really have to ask questions. Everybody has a demon and an angel, one on each shoulder. Sometimes people listen to the demon a little bit more than the angel. In this case, I could apply this to whatever you're doing. I learned this very important question that like people like when you ask questions. So a good question that I ask myself is, what can I do for the people I'm here to serve? Simple question. Simple question. Ask people. Whoa, we definitely do learn as we go, grand strategist. You want to ask questions. You want to ask questions. I always feel like I should have asked them, if they already have like, their core values, or if they have information that I'm looking for, because, so asking, general questions and then working your way in always helps. And so this is something I also learned being like a brand strategist, a freelance brand strategist, and helping some of my friends' businesses. And honestly, when it comes to building a brand, the main question is, do you feel like this matters, and how does it work? How do you see this helping other people? Um, yeah, who's a part of your brand? Who are you serving? Who is serving them? And what is your role? Um, One thing you were still working on. Oh, introverted self, start asking questions, being more assertive. Yeah, and I honestly feel like for me, because I did let them know like I'm still learning, I'm gonna do my best to serve you. It was really good to be honest with them, right, and to almost be very humble, because I was like, I'm gonna do the best work that I possibly can for you, because I believe in your organization, I want to support you, and you're paying me, so I will do my absolute best to deliver on what you want and what you need. But yeah, asking those questions really help with not even just as you develop your service and you give it to them, but also for them, to gain a greater understanding of what they're creating. And that's something I definitely saw with like one of my friends, Sofrin Zeke. Okay, I know I butchered their brand name, but I just remember how hard he was working on his brand. It was a clothing brand, and he had sent me a free shirt. And it was super cool, but he was trying this whole like astrology type aesthetic, and that's just not him. Like, he loves anime, and for weeks into months he was trying to like do this astrology, like spiritual take, because he had just never really seen spirituality and anime merge as much as, like, I guess astrology and like spirituality merge. And so started asking him questions like, why is he created this brand? What does the name mean? What does the logo mean? Well, who are you wanting to reach out to? And he just answered the questions. And then one day, he's talking to his spirit guides. He was doing a lot. He was doing the work. I was just asking questions. Um, and yeah, one day he's talking to his spirit guides, and he was like, I know what to do. And this guy, he took down all of his Instagram posts, all of his social media. He rebranded himself. He started sharing like anime quotes that were really inspiring and on the page. I think he had like 2,000 followers, and then it like 10x'd. He had like 20,000 quick, fast. And that was just because he realized what he loved doing and what the core of who he was and what he enjoyed doing, and it was so much easier for him to create in that space. And yeah, so asking questions is fantastic. It's one of the things I'm really thankful that I get to be in a place where I can ask questions. And yeah. Okay. So this last one is what I'm currently doing, and I am a horticulturist, a culturalist. It feels kind of random because did I go to school for horticulture? No. I was in the horticulture, botany, and environmental club, but I did not even know what horticulture meant, and it means to cultivate your garden. Okay, horty means like garden, and culture means culturist. You know, that's what it means. You can look it up. Something like that. Something like that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, he said, but when alien, oh god, oh man, is narcissism just bad behavior or selfish? I was thinking about this actually today, Negan Walker. I believe that narcissists, I think it's kind of a nurture thing of like, maybe they didn't get enough hugs as a kid, and also like just like how they are designed is that they might need a little extra external validation, and they might have certain ways that are not ethical in trying to get it. I don't know. That's kind of my take on narcissism, but hey, to each their own. I think selfishness and narcissism are kind of one and of the same. They go hand in hand. And yeah, but when aliens want to serve man, make sure we aren't on their dinner plates. I am working on having a more servant attitude with your work. And oh man, oh wow, this is powerful stuff. Servant leadership. Ooh, should I do a whole video on different leadership styles? I will. I definitely would be interested in that if you're interested in it, even if you're not. I think that's a fun idea. Yeah, I think servant leadership is a fantastic thing. Being able to be the last person that gets fed after your people get fed, being the last in the line to make sure nobody's behind, lagging behind. It's a beautiful leadership style, and it is something that I think mothers and fathers, like parents in general, don't get enough credit for being servant leaders, for serving their children first, letting their kids eat first, making sure their kids are put in a place where they can continue. But yeah, leadership styles are really interesting, and I would love to maybe create a video on different leadership styles. It'll probably be like a little bit of a meme. But yeah, I've taken a lot of leadership classes, courses, books, tests. Um, yeah, and I think leadership is fantastic. I've helped facilitate a like weekend retreat to train young adults and their leadership skills, and I think that everybody has a mix of the different leadership styles, like laissez-faire or authoritative. I think there's a lot of different kinds, and I'm still learning, and it's been a while, so it'd be cool to brush up on them. Nice. Okay, Deshaun says sure, so it's happening now, people. The Apostle Paul saw himself as a servant rather than lording over others, and that's important. I think Jesus is also a great example of him washing his disciples' feet after that Last Supper. You know, Negan, I think that question, I would probably read the Bible and then any supporting text that God leads you to find that answer for yourself. And let me know. Let me know, fam, because I'm curious. I'm curious. I think the 12 disciples kind of numerically make sense according to the zodiac and many of the sacred number 12 patterns within the world. But hey, I think it's important to do your own research and form your own belief systems. So this last job that I currently have as a horticulturist, geez, man, it's been teaching me a lot. I honestly am not like at all. I feel I didn't go to school for it. I was never really properly trained, and now I'm working at a state park as a horticulturist, and I feel super duper thankful. It's a really weird place to be, and I feel even more thankful that they held this position for me all throughout the summer while I was in San Francisco. And as soon as I got back, I told them what date I would be back. They immediately contacted me and were still interested in having me on board their team, and it's been really, really good. I did cry because at that time I was so much in the entrepreneurial headset. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to sign my life away. I'm not gonna be an entrepreneur. I'm not gonna be successful. This is gonna be the end of my entrepreneurial journey. And honestly, it's very much the beginning, and I'm really happy because I'm learning things that are helping me with my startup, which is growing community gardens, and creating a platform and maybe a crypto coin that will incentivize more people to grow gardens. Um, but yeah, how can I make a platform to help grow more community gardens if I don't know how to grow a garden myself? And so that is how I found myself accepting the position as a horticulturist and learning more about community gardens. So, with that being said, being a horticulturist, a part of my job is literally just walking around the park and looking at the different trees and plants and bugs and birds and bees and taking account of them. So I'm learning a lot about looking around. Look around, like the world is full of wonder. Um, and this has been such a big blessing. Have I noticed there's a black moon under the Virgin Mary? I thought there were horns. I have not noticed that, Negan, and potentially they could be kind of like how Satan is below our feet as he was cursed. Potentially. What's up, Chrissy? It's been a while, and I'm doing well. Ah, I miss you, girl. Thank you for tuning in. Um, yeah, so I've been learning a lot about looking around the world. It's full of wonder. When I tell you how many mushrooms I have been finding, in fact, I have some that are drying downstairs, and I'm gonna make some mushroom soup with them, okay? They're okay, they're edible. I'm also learning to grow them. Um, I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much, and I feel like a child, honestly. I ask silly questions all the time, and I just want to learn as much as I can. I look up and I hear different birds, and I feel so, so, so thankful. Okay. So, God has been good. I'm shocked at the the world around us, how much there is out there, from the different leaves on the trees and the different kinds of trees and the different kinds of plants and the ways the bees actually help the plants and the different insects, and everything has been such a learning journey, and it has helped me so much just be in awe of God's creation, of having the ability to go, and also that like a part of our job is to look at the trees and the plants and the animals because nobody else really is going to. A lot of people don't care. This is a part of a golf course, so a lot of the park is being used as a golf course, and they're always looking for excuses to develop more and more. And so us looking at the different habitat wildlife and the different plants is to argue that you should not develop anymore because there are sacred beings that are living here. There are rare plants that are being found, and animals and birds. So yes, my inner child. Yes, I love it. So, um, grand strategist, thank you so much. You can work a job and be an entrepreneurial. You just have to manage your time and be efficient. Absolutely. I think one of the biggest things that have helped me are the accountability crew I've been forming, and I'm in a position where my supervisor, he 100% supports my startup and what it is, because it is something ideally that they will be able to use at the park for the different gardens that they are maintaining. And so that's what I'm really excited to, why I'm so excited to develop it and have this be in this place where I am more financially like secure and I can invest that time. It definitely is a learning journey to manage your time wisely between work and the entrepreneurial things that you do not get paid for, but you do it because your soul is just screaming for joy when you do the things that you know you are here to do. So yeah, we learning, but yeah, plants are fantastic, super duper healing. It's been a very, I've been paying attention. I didn't think I was a detail, like, I could pay attention to details that well. Um, well, I guess a little bit when I was in the auxiliary of the Air Force with like uniform and, your code of conduct and your tone of voice. Yeah, but I felt like situationally, I honestly was kind of oblivious to a lot of the details, and I just kind of saw the big picture, kind of like how I'm nearsighted, and so if things are far away, it was just harder for me to see them. But this job has been teaching me a lot about just looking at all of the beauty that's in the world and really taking account of it, because it is so valuable. Like if you went to your closest green space or your backyard and you just started counting the different kinds of grasses that were growing there, or how many bird sounds you hear in like an hour or however long you're there, I think it's a really beautiful and big blessing. And so I've been training those senses a lot more, knowing that, you got to be a steward to the land. And if you don't take account of what is on the land, then how can you really appreciate and protect it? So that has been one of the fun stuff that I feel super thankful for getting to do. Developing a state park, is that legal, my lord? I will make it legal. Palpatine being British. Okay, very interesting. Um, Grand strategist, very funny. Very funny. Um, yeah, state parks are interesting. Because there's that whole preservation part to the park's recreation and preservation. But it gets overlooked a lot just because the money's not there for most people, and a lot of people are motivated by the money. I know, and this could be my prediction, maybe I'm crazy, maybe it doesn't happen, but I have faith that a lot of the money is going to be poured into more environmental preservation stuff. It already is starting to, and it's going to continue to increase, I think, in the years to come. um but then you have people that again are motivated by the money, so they're still doing these unethical environmental things, but they're labeling it as it's environmentally friendly. So it's so interesting. It's so interesting. I think the most like valuable thing you can do is to just take in the earth. Those trees are not going to be there forever. They're not going to be there forever. There are, so many factors. Nothing lives forever. So enjoying the living, breathing things that are in your vicinity, in your space, I think is so important. Trees are so loving, they're so selfless, and I think it's a beautiful thing when you can just take some time to be with them and acknowledge their presence, because they are always acknowledging us and they are always providing us with beautiful fresh air to breathe. They're protecting the earth in so many ways, and being an abode for many of the wildlife. So yeah, trees are fantastic. Get out there, give your local tree a hug, and I think it's fantastic. Thank you, Crystal. Yeah, the startup is going. The startup is going, and I feel like you know me, you know me. Of course, I'm gonna put in where you can find more information for now. If you look up eco chamber .xyz, you will find out more about my startup. The whole idea is making these little spaces in the earth that are encouraging people to mindfully cultivate them together. Reaping the fruits of their labor and then mindfully regenerating the soil so it can continue to grow and be an almost like intimate safe space for people to come together to nurture themselves, to nurture the earth. And yeah, that's the whole idea. We'll see how it goes. Fam, it would be fantastic if one day, like collectively, we were able to reclaim a piece of land, to regenerate it, and just create it as a little safe space, with little tiny homes and a beautiful big garden and food forest, because I'm a foodie. I love food and I love plants. Yeah, so that is it. So yeah, I've been learning a lot. There's still a lot to learn. And I'm realizing like the startups that I've created, like Good Vibes Delivery is also another beautiful, I don't even know, just like entity that came out of the pain I was feeling in my heart and wanting to alleviate it in some way, which was also helping others and letting them know that they're not alone. And also toxic positivity, it's probably not the best thing, and we can let that go and we can allow ourselves to heal. Heal. Hallelujah. And yeah, so I think I would not have created some of the things I've created if I did not do some of the things I didn't really want to do. Like some of the jobs I had to work, I was not a big fan of, but it did give me a skill that I probably would not have learned otherwise. And I was able to use that skill to live more of the life I wanted to live. So if you are working a job and you don't really love it, you're not sure how to feel about it, learn the skill that is there for you to learn. I am a big fan of, I love being a horticulturist right now. I'm learning so much. I'm learning about greenhouse management, invasives, naturalized, and like native species, how to grow, how to propagate, how to reap seeds, starting my own seed library. I'm working with a lot of community gardens. I'm learning a lot, but I don't think I'm gonna be working at a state park as a horticulturist forever. And so, with that being said, I want to make sure that I'm respectfully learning as much as I can. And like any other job, I am building good connections with the people I'm working with, and I'm learning what I need to. And then when the time comes, whenever the time is, in divine timing, and it's my time to go, I have received and I've done all I could with the seasons that I had in that position with that job. And I'm able to take everything that I've learned, all of the literal seeds of knowledge that I have been able to reap, and I can go to the next place and I can sow them and I can continue to grow. And yeah, I think that's definitely I use the King James version, good old KGV. And yeah, I really, really appreciate being able to learn, because you never know. The more you learn, the more you earn. Life, just life. Your capacity for creating and cultivating and curating the life you want, it becomes easier the more you learn. So if you want, yeah, may this be a motivation if you're working a job that you're like meh, 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 whatever it is. learn the lesson. Learn the lesson. And then in divine timing, if you so feel led to transition to another place where you feel like you can serve better, so be it. But yeah. So that's what I've learned. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and this live stream, just talking a little bit about what I've learned. Yeah, thank you. Oh, you. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the divine timing of things. I really appreciate you for joining, and I will go. God bless. Namaste.